Well, hello. I think I might be alone on this live, but that's okay. I'm going to try doing this more often, going live with you all on YouTube. And, if you're here with me, great. You can say something in the chat. If you're not, it's kind of like when I do my other webinars and it's just me anyway. So I guess I'm just going to continue as if you guys were actually with me, which that'd be kind of cool if you all were. I would like that a lot. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about was how you can study and do practice questions even when you don't have a lot of money. So, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, sometimes what will happen is you want to study and maybe you've paid for a set of questions. But eventually, because I know you're intelligent, hey, Deborah, hey, Ebony, oh, goody. If you all are telling me that you're here, that means you can see me and you can hear me. Awesome. And I want to try something. I think what I can do is, boop. Look at that. I can put you all on my screen. Oh my goodness. And I can make your picture bigger and I can edit you all. Let's see. How do I edit this? Let's see. Let me play around a little bit. I don't know. I don't know, but that's really kind of cool. That's awesome. Oh, and look, I can say, hey, look, Anna's here. I can put it up here. Anna's here from California. Do y'all like this? I do. Which means if you put a question in the chat, I can put it up on the screen and then you all can kind of see it. Thanks, guys, for trying this out with me. All right. So, back to what I was saying is I wanted to tell you, like, even if you've purchased questions, if you've had it for longer than 2 or 3 months, there's a good chance you've started to memorize the questions. So when you read the question and you see the answer choices, you've got more of a thing going on that's like, oh, I remember the answer to this question, and less, hey, let me come up with my in my mind. So, what I would suggest that you do is use a free thing that every single one of you all have, and that is Chat GPT. So, I'm going to go over to my screen here. Nope, that's not the screen I wanted. Let's try this one. Do. I got it. You all can see that was my other screen. This is why we try. Let's try this one. Let's see if this one works. Let's see. There we go. Hey, that one worked. We like that one. So now you all can see my screen. Look, that's why y'all are here today, to help me kind of figure out the craziness of it all. So this is Chat GPT. Do you all have Chat GPT? Have you tried it before? Do you know anything about it? I'm hoping that you've all tried it, because Chat GPT is an amazing tool. I am not excited for AI to take over the world and it's going to be like Terminator and it's Skynet. That could be happening. But as far as being helpful for studying and a whole bunch of things, think of Chat GPT kind of like Google, but on steroids. So when you have to ask a question or you want to ask a question, what would happen is you can go in and you can say, hey, what is going on here? So Anna said, how do we find it? What I would suggest you do is just go to your thing and you can put in Chat GPT. And then it's going to come up and then you'll see it here, boop, and you'll click on it. And then it'll ask you to start a account. Now there's different levels of Chat GPT. I pay for a free level. I pay for a paid level, which means you see up here, and let me make it so you can see my mouse. You see over here, these are called GPTs. So if you put something in here and you ask a random question, ChatGPT is pulling all of the information from the internet. Now, if you have a paid, my understanding, and I am not a genius, is my understanding is if you have the free, it's kind of pulling information from a static point of the internet. So it like took a screenshot and it's only pulling stuff from that point and before. But if you have the paid version, I believe it is that it pulls the most current stuff. And you get these GPTs, which allows you to pull from a section. So, like I started this one, which is real estate exam prep GPT. You can only pull up a GPT if you pay for it, but it doesn't matter if you do the paid or the free. What you can do is ask it a question. So, let's say you're struggling in a valuation, right? What you would do is you would just type something as simple as, please create 10 practice questions and answers similar. Oh, let me do just questions. I'm going to do just questions at first. Questions similar to what I would find on a national real estate exam. The topic should be valuation and appraisals. There should be 4 answer choices. Provide the answers and explanations to the answers after the questions. And then one thing I like to add is, let me know if you need any other information. So the great thing about ChatGPT is you can't mess it up. You're going to put that in, and as you can see, it's giving us these practice questions. So let's do it together. Oh, you still watch me? Oh, good. Hi, boss. I'm here. I'm going to be doing this more often, going, on live. So hopefully, I don't know, Fridays are good for you. Fridays are pretty much a good day for me. So there you go. So let's do these questions. The first one you see, number 1. Which of the following is not one of the 3 approaches to value used by appraisers? Hey, Tricks. Which of the following is not one of the 3 approaches to value used by appraisers? So just like when we do the other webinars, guy, is it A, the sales comparison approach, B, the cost approach, C, the investment approach, or D, the income approach? So which one is not one of the 3 approaches used to value used by appraisers? What would you say the answer to that is? Go ahead and put that in the chat for me. All right. We got, all right, the investment approach. Anna says C, the investment approach. Love that. And if we were to scroll down, and I'm sure it did, it's going to give us these answers. Oh, look. Oh, see, I gave you the answer to B already. The main approaches to value are the sales comparison approach, cost approach, and income approach. And there you go. And then you see the answer is C. So within a minute, I was able to come up with these 10 questions. And guys, I've done it as much as 100 questions at a time. You can come up with your own questions based off of what you need to know. Right? So I don't know if that helps anybody. Y'all can just say yes or no in the chat. But I, as a teacher, I use this all the time. If you've seen some of my other YouTube videos that are lives or recorded ones, if it's just random questions and you don't see it comes from like a source that you can purchase, guess where the questions came from? They came from ChatGPT. Now, I might have souped them up a little bit and made them, a little bit harder or a little bit easier. And you can ask ChatGPT to do that too. But in general, that's what you can do. If you do have the paid version and you go to my GPT exam, real estate exam prep, it's going to give you answers specifically to the real estate exam. So what I mean by that is, let me show y'all. If I were to Google What is an easement? You're going to get all of these answers. What are easements and how can they affect my property? Wikipedia, what is an easement? The town of Clayton, what is an easement? Like, you get this Partner Engineering and Science Incorporated. Like, it's telling you what an easement is from all corners of the internet. However, if you come in to just a regular chat GPT, it's going to do the same thing, like just the basic free paid version. When you go to a GPT, it is going to be like focused in a certain area. So if I choose what is an easement, it's going to base it off of real estate exam prep. Right? So it's going to give you an answer that's more suited for people who are taking a real estate exam, and not, hey, this is what the attorney needs to know. Hey, this is what the civil engineer needs to know. Hey, this is what the homeowner needs to know. We don't want that. We're trying to pass the test. So if you do have the paid version, find the GPT. And then that way, I mean, you can see you can create things in DALL-E and all of that. So good. I'm glad that helped. I'm so glad that helped, Ebony. You all came all the way here and you are helping me try to figure this out. So what I wanted to do was open up, and I will do this every week. If you all want, I'll do this every week. I'm going to try. Now, the weeks that I'm moving, maybe not. But what questions can I answer for you? Do you have a specific vocab question? Is there a math question that you're struggling with? Is there a concept or something you would like me to go over? Because, yeah, I think when you don't have a live teacher every day or once a week, that can be a huge part of your studying that is missed. So you all tell me, and I know there's a little bit of a delay. How can I best help you? You all are my, some of these original lives. What would be best during a YouTube live? Would you want me to go over questions like I do with other webinars? Would you like me to pick a topic and go over it? I need input from you all. When you want to ask me, and because it's a live, you can ask me all sorts of questions. Like, how do I get started in the business? How do I choose a broker? I just want to know, how can I be of the best assistance to you? And I know that you all probably have something. You got to give me something, guys. Got to give me something. Ooh, and I need to see if my sound effects work. So, let's see. Can I get my sound effects to work? You all tell me. I'm not going to say what it is, but you all tell me what sound effect let me mute myself, and then you all tell me what sound effects you hear.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right, I muted my mic so I could hear it and you could hear it, but could anybody tell me what that was? All right, let's go with what Anna said. You said valuation and analysis section seems to be the area you need help with. So Anna, first, I want to make sure you do know that I have a video for that on YouTube. So if I go to my YouTube page and we go to Candace Ellis, right? And you go here, you can, I don't know if everybody knows, you can use this little search thing, look up appraisal. And you'll see I have this video on appraisal methods. And that is going to be one of the first things I would tell you, which would be very, very helpful. You can always use that. But Anna, is there a particular term or concept that is helping? Oh, good. You all could hear. Let's get ready to rumble. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Now, Anna, while you're telling me whether or not you have a specific part of appraisal or valuation you're struggling with, I think you asked another really great question. How do you choose a broker? Love this question. I've done videos on this, but I think it's so important that you all understand. Going into real estate is kind of like going into Mary Kay. Anybody can do it. Now, do not get me wrong. This is a hard test. So let me say, not everybody can do this. Like this is a hard test. But you could choose to go into real estate, and then just like with Mary Kay, you are trying to sell product, the houses. Actually, you're selling yourself, but that's okay. You're selling these houses, and then you get paid. So if somebody buys a house, you get paid. Somebody buys some mascara from Mary Kay, you get paid, right? Now, the thing is, in order, because most of you all are studying to become to become salespeople, you need a broker. That broker is going to be the person your client actually hires. Remember, they don't hire you, they hired your broker or your firm. You know, the BIC, depending on the state you're in, all those things. So when that check comes in, they're going to take part of it and you're going to get part of it. Now, you did most of the work. You're the one that found the buyer or the seller. You're the one that, helped show them houses, open doors, got them under contract, helped them through the inspection process, got them closed. And then your broker is going to take part of that? Here, I'll make it so that you all can see me. I realize you're just looking at a blank screen. So here you go. Boom. And there you go. So that broker is just going to take part of that money? That seems a little bit insane. I like money. If you all do not like money, I will send you my PayPal or Zelle. So if I'm going to give somebody money, what are you doing in order for me to want to give you the money? And when you go to interview brokers, as much as they're interviewing you, you should be interviewing them. Hey, if I join your company, how are you going to make me successful? Because I make money and you make money, and you don't make money unless I make money. So what's the plan here, Sam? How are you going to help me when I have questions? How hard or how easy is it going to be to reach somebody to answer those questions? What kind of training do I have? Am I going to get, right? Some of you all will have to go into this part-time, but I don't like the term part-time. I like the term dual career. But do they have any training that's not during 9 to 5 hours for dual career people? Right? I mean, so what is it? Why are you paying this broker? What are you getting out of it if you're going to do it? So you want to also find somebody you gel with. Like, as you all can see, I did not dress up for this. I am not a dress up type of person unless I have to. I am going to really miss about the South the fact that cowboy boots can be worn even in a formal situation if they're fancy enough. I'm about to bring that energy to Michigan because I don't do heels anymore. Why? When I can do a cute pair of cowboy boots. Duh. Heels, cowboy boots. Let's think about this one. They don't get stuck in the dirt. All of those things. I digress. But it's just one of those things that you want to make sure, like, I wouldn't go. Had to think about what I was talking about for a second. I would not go someplace where they're expecting me to wear, heels, a full face of makeup. Y'all are lucky I put on some lip gloss for this one. A skirt. You want to be all formal. Everybody's all silent and hey, if that's your gig, that's your gig. That is your gig, but it's not mine. So I would want to find somebody who may be casual, but takes the business seriously. So I hope that helps. Hey, Angela. Angela. Hey, girl. Hey. So you said, what are my thoughts about being an independent contractor? Well, I have been an independent contractor for 20 years. I'm going to tell you the pros and the cons. I'm going to tell you the cons first, right? The cons are, I pay for my own health insurance because I'm not married. Woo! Also, since I'm not married, I'm an independent contractor. There's no guarantee of work. Like, I hope that all the companies that I work for love me, but if they don't want something from me, I don't eat. And I have expensive taste. I like to shop. So that's kind of terrible about being an independent contractor. You don't really get to, you are kind of at the whims of people trying to hire you. Yeah, but that's going to be true even in sales. Like, people have to want to use you for sales. The pros are, I am what I call, I usually say for men, a GAM, but I'm a GAW, a grown, beep, with a word, woman. I love being an independent contractor because I do what I want. If a company is not treating me right, or I don't align with their ethics or something like that, I'm out. So, like you all know, I'm getting ready to move. I get to tell I'm an independent contractor. Hey guys, I'm not available for 3 weeks. I got a week to pack up my stuff and move in North Carolina, from North Carolina. Then my stuff's got to get there. Then I got to put my house together, get internet. I don't have to approve that with anybody. I'm an independent contractor. So for me, that is great. I run my business. I am a business and I run my business in my way. So absolutely love that part of it. But it does have its downfalls. Remember, an independent contractor, when I get paid, they don't take the taxes out. I have to be diligent enough to do that and put that money aside and then pay. And I end up paying taxes 4 times a year. So I don't know. Can you work at a brokerage when you have a 9 to 5 property management job elsewhere since you're an independent contractor? You know, as so some companies, new construction or property management, they're going to want you to put sometimes your license like on hold. Sometimes because property managers don't want you to start going, oh, you wanted to rent? Have you really thought about buying? I could help you buy a place much cheaper than it would be to rent. So some companies will ask you to, say that you're not going to do that. It just depends on both companies, both your broker at the property management company and then your broker at your sales place. You just need to work it out. Now, different states have different rules about whether a salesperson can be under more than one broker and things like that. So it is possible. You just need to get the details for your state. So I don't know if that helps. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? I hope so. I mean, if not, we can, we could just call it a day. I don't know. I booked an hour for this, so I'm good. If you're good, you tell me, how can I be of the best assistance? That's what I want y'all to know. I am really serious when I play good job, and in the Wiggle song. Like, I really support you all and I want to be here for you all. So you tell me. We got about another half an hour. We have another half an hour if you want. If y'all are like, nope, that's enough of you, Candace. We hear your voice all the time. Let's go. Oh, and I could go back to the appraisal thing. Anna, you said you tried to find your webinar on this, but you were not able. So I'm going to show you the picture again. Try this appraisal. Oh, wait, you can't see that. Hold on. Let me go. I think that is here. Here. Boom. There you go. Right there. And I think, gosh, you can just look up real estate exam appraisal methods. And I think that'll work for you. You asked, do I stage houses for open houses? Well, of course. Yes, girl. Yes, you're going to stage your houses for open houses. Now, it depends on what you mean by stage. So let's say, for example, what you see behind me. I would say in kind of theory, this is staged. Like, you can see my flowers and I've got my green light down there, which, by the way, does change colors. It could be blue or red or pink or purple, whatever I want it to be. So when I say it's staged, you get the signs, prove them wrong. Dreams don't work unless you do. My absolute favorite is my goal is to create a life I don't need a vacation from. What time is it? Whatever. So that's staged. I mean, anytime you stage yourself when you put on makeup, right? So anytime you are preparing something for an open house, I think it's important, since you have people coming in, that's not the time to hire new furniture. If you're going to do a listing and it's going to be vacant, or even if they're going to be living there, you want to make sure that if people are coming in, it's nice, it's clean, it's pretty. There's all sorts of theories about, should it be vacant so that people can imagine their own things there, or do you want it to feel like an IKEA dream scene where people come in and go, oh my gosh, if I live here, my house would look like this too. It won't. Spoiler alert, it won't. Having said that, Even for an open house, I think it's really important. Make sure you open the windows, get some sunlight in, make sure that it's presenting the best. One of my favorite tricks was, I think the smell of fresh baked cookies, everybody pretty much loves. So before COVID, I used to bake fresh baked cookies. So you had that smell in the air, and then the plate of them, I would just put it in a cake tin so people could have free fresh baked cookies if they came in, napkins, water. If I didn't have that much time, I would just go get some like Hershey Kisses or something because people like to nibble. I'd have either, like books or something out there. So when you say stage, usually I think of staging for the entire listing, right? But I do want to make sure it's presentation and pretty and it smells good for an open house. Do they pay you separately if you do it as an independent contractor? Move the cereal boxes from the fridge. I would just like to say, why would you not keep your cereal boxes on top of the fridge? It is so much easier. Like, I got away from that for like the last 25 years. And like the last 2 years or so, I've been like, I kind of like seeing my Cocoa Krispies on top of the fridge. So I'm going back to that. I digress as usual. But do they pay you separately as a contractor to do it? No. If it's your listing, the seller is probably expecting you to do it. If you are an agent and you're a new agent and you're trying to get business and you've been told, hey, which is true, an open house is a great place to find buyers, you're not going to get paid for that more than likely. Yeah. Hey, Charlotte. So I don't know if that helps, but there you go. Any other questions that I missed? Y'all, you got access to me for another like 30 minutes. It is what it is. If you all like these lives, I think I could do them once a week, and then I could even bring in guests. I can bring in teachers. I can bring in, and they don't even have to like come to me. They won't be sitting next to me. It's going to be more like, oh, they can zoom in and then you'll see both of us and we can talk. And if you've got questions. So yeah. Oh, I'm almost out of water. Oh, Lord. What is the breakdown of commission? Are you asking from, Anna, are you asking that from a math question? Or are you asking it from a like math question for the exam? Or are you asking a real life commission? How does it work? How do I get paid? So even though you would think those are exactly the same, they are not. So you all, just in case you missed it, here was the question. I love that I can do this. What is the breakdown of commission? So cool. I love that. Look, see, Charlotte is the director of operations. She'll come in and she'll help you all if you have questions. So, Anna, just let me know. And what I'm going to do is, remember guys, this is a test one. Let's see if it's working for a brokerage. Okay, that's a great one. Let's see if we can get to my iPad. Everybody, cross your fingers. See if this works. Eeny, meeny, miny. Hey, I think that worked. Woo, woo. So let's talk about commissions, shall we? So what's going to happen is you get a portion of a sale that comes in, right? So let's say you sell a house for $450,000, and I'm going to blow this up just a little bit. And then there's let's say there's a total 7% commission. I like thinking, I want 7%. So, hey, that's what I'm doing. So $450,000 times 7%. Now, y'all know my math skills when it comes to using a calculator. It's not the world's best. That's going to be $31,500. But that's total commission. That's the total commission. You don't get all that. We know that $31,500 could be split different ways. Now, I know there's a lawsuit going on. I absolutely understand that, and that things might change. But let's go with how it was done generally before the lawsuit. So what would happen is part of this would go to the listing firm, And part of this would go to the selling firm, which is usually the buyer's agent. Right? And they might split that 50% here and 50% here, which means that total would be 31,500 divided by 2 would be 15,750. That's a great number, except it's not yours. That belongs to the firm or the broker. P.S. That's not you. So when you go in to find a broker, you're going to talk about your agent split. Because of that 15,750, some of it goes to you, the agent, and some of that goes towards your firm or broker. And your split could be anything. It could be 50-50. I get half, you get half. It could be 70-30. I take home 70, you get to keep 30. It could be 80-20. It could be 60-40. It could be whatever. Now, I'm going to go with, how about, since you all are new people, 60% to you, 40% to your brokerage. Which means I need to find 60% of 15,750. So I'm going to multiply. And that's going to give me times 60%, a check for $9,450. That check is going to be made out to you for that amount. Having said that, you're going to have to put some of that away for taxes. So I like to do 30% just in general as a final, the tax man, that's going to take 30%, which leaves you with 70%. So, and I can scroll that up a little bit. So that means times 70%. You get a check for $6,600. Well, you're not going to get a check for that. That's what you're going to put into your account to say, hey, this is my money. This amount right here. Yay. Dude. That right there. That's your money. Which is a far cry from the original 31,500 that when people go into real estate, they're like, oh, there's a 7% commission. You got 5% of the sales price. No, I didn't. No, I absolutely did not. And that $6,000, I might have been working with you for 3 months. Yeah, you just closed, but we were under contract for a month and a half. And then you spent a month looking for properties. And then you were shopping for, agents and kind of talking to me before you knew that you definitely wanted to work with me. So, yeah, it took me 3 months to come up with that $6,615. I got to pay gas. I got to pay for all of, being a realtor, if that's what you are, for, office fees, all of those things. So even if I take that and divide it by 3, how much am I making a month? That's $22,005. That one $450,000 sale, I don't know about y'all, but that is not going to help me much. I mean, it is going to help. Don't get me wrong. I will take $2,000, but that's not enough to pay all my bills. Plus, I had to wait 3 months to get that. So, that's a thing. So, first question, and I see you, Angela. Anna, let me know. Does that answer that question? Does that help? Just give me like a thumbs up or a yay, or ask me another question about it. But I will say this. When you do this, and let me change colors here. Some of you all might join a team. Let's use red for this. And if you join a team, once your firm gets this, you're going to have to ask, okay, well, what does the team get? That's going to be split even further because you're going to have to pay your broker, but then there's going to be a team, and that number goes down even further. But if you're on a team, maybe this came from a lead. So I'd rather have a portion of something than all of nothing. So you just got to think about that when you're doing it. All right, I see you, Angela. You said talk about financing. I mean, I could do a lot with financing. Tell me a little bit more. Are you thinking like how financing works? Are you thinking the process? Are you thinking types of loans? Um, oh, I just got an Apple News top stories. That's depressing. How many months will it take to bring any money home? Do we get some of the team monies? Ina, probably not. You probably are not going to get any of the team monies. Um, but how long does it take to bring any money home? It depends on you. Real estate in and of itself is not hard. What's hard is finding clients. So if you have a client lined up or you find one pretty quickly, you could get a check in the first 2 to 3 months. That's awesome. However, if you can't find a client, it could be a while. Look, I've known people that have gone 6 months or a year. This is another reason why you might want to think about a team, because a team might give you like I said, a lead. A lead. A team is going to be more invested in you to hopefully to be more productive and to get something sold faster. Right? All right. Angela, you got anything else on that financing? Oh, see, Charlotte, she runs a team. She says 4 to 6 months for first paycheck. I think that's what I would bank on. If you can do it faster, cool. If you can't, then you've planned for 4 to 6 months. All right, Angela, you said the process of getting a loan. So I would say your first step is for the client, they're going to decide whether they want a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker. Because a banker is only going to know about loans for their bank. And a broker is going to have loans from different places. So if you go to a Wells Fargo banker, then they're only going to have Wells Fargo products. But if you go to a broker, they might have a, Wells Fargo product, or maybe Chase, or maybe JP Morgan. I'm just making up bank names, pulling them here. They don't all do it this way. Or maybe it's Bank of America. They have access to different banks. Once they choose a banker, they're going to get basically a pre-qualification. That pre-qualification is going to tell them how much of a loan they could get, which then indeed tells you what could be the house price. After they do that, they shop for houses, and once they find a house, they apply for a loan, which means then they're going to pay for an appraisal and other fees, get inspections, and then they would close. I don't know if that's what you meant. You meant discount points. All right, I see you. I can do discount points. And I'm going to come back to that. Anna, when I pay for NAR and the fee, so most of the time, most of your realtor dues are going to be annual. I can't guarantee that across the United States, but as far as I know, most of them are annual. So let's talk about discount points. I don't like that orange anymore. A discount point well, the base here is a point. Discount tells us what type of point it is. What does it do? And if it's a discount point, it's discounting the interest rate. But in order to understand discount points, we want to go to a different thing here. We want to show you. So one thing about just taking random questions, y'all, I have to be ready for anything. And let me clear this. Clear. When it comes to discount points, you need to know what it says right here. A discount point, or a point in general, is going to take 1% of the loan amount. It's going to cost 1% of the loan amount. So if you have 1 point and your loan is for $450,000, 1 point equals 1% of $450,000. So that's going to be $4,500 per point. That's your first thing. It's going to be $4,500 per point. Now, you can do lots of things with points, but if it is specifically a discount point, what you're going to do is use it to make your interest rate go down. So let's say our interest rate started at, so this between 5 and 6%. Your start point is going to be here. The bank is offering you 6%. That's your start. Well, in order to think about this, I think it's easier to kind of imagine it as fractions. Every time you pay a point, it moves your interest rate 1/8%. Now, these are number lines. You got 5, you got 5.5, you got 6. That's because you're doing things in halves. There's 2. If you did quarters, it would be 5, 5.5, and 6. But this would be 5.25. That's 5.25. And this would be 5.75%. So this is in quarters. But however, when it comes to points, they do it in eighths. So if you're getting a loan at 6% and you pay 1 point, your new loan amount, your new loan interest rate would be 5 7/8%. So if you pay to the bank $4,500, your new loan is for 5 7/8%. Well, guess what? If you pay another point, your new loan is going to be at 5 6/8%. And the reason I use this chart is because you can see 5 6/8 is actually 5 3/4, which is 5.75. So you know what? If you pay 2 points, a point here and a point here, 2 points at $4,500 a point would cost you $9,000 at closing. Do you want to pay $9,000 above and beyond your other closing costs and your other down payments? You would pay an additional $9,000 so that instead of having a 6% interest rate for 30 years, you would have a 5.75% interest rate for 30 years. Those are discount points. Right? And let me know if you have questions here, Angela. Anna, you said, how do I budget my funds, especially since I'm paid erratically and not weekly or biweekly? Is there a spreadsheet for realtors to set up a budget? I'm sure somebody does. My dad helped me with this a long time ago, so I will say this. I don't care who you are and what you have. You, in order to budget, in order to figure out how many sales you need to live the lifestyle that you want to live, you need to know how much are your bills every month. And if you have a great real estate coach, and I always suggest, especially new people coming out, you want a coach. And even when you're experienced, a coach kind of helps you grow and keep in line. One of the first things a coach should have you do is say, hey, how much goes out the door every single month? And I'm going to go back so you don't have to just see a blank screen here. How much do you need every single month? Because if you know your rent is $2,000 a month, and you know that your car note is $300 and your health insurance is $300, we're at $2,600. You got, you got to eat. So maybe that pays us to $3,000. And then you got credit cards. I mean, you need to know how much you spend a month so that you can figure out how much do I need to make a month. And a great coach can show you how to say, okay, what are your goals for the year? And whatever that goal is for the year, it needs to cover whatever your monthly expenses are, plus whatever extra you're trying to save or pay out. And you can work the numbers backwards so that you can figure out, okay, I need this many closings, which means I need to talk to this many people in order to be successful, right? And like Charlotte said, I would always encourage people to have about 6 to 9 months of savings up in for your first year of business if you're going just flat in. If you're just going to give up any other jobs and this is what you're doing, I think it is a great idea to have 6 to 9 months worth of savings, or a spouse who can support you. If you have a spouse who can support you and they have a sibling who can support me and is unmarried, please pass their name on. But I know I'm shameless. I'm going to assume, Deborah, that since she said NAR and she said CAR, that it's either the California Association of Realtors, the Connecticut Association of Realtors, just because like where I am, I'm in North Carolina. So we've got like the North Carolina Association of Realtors. I pay dues on that level. I also pay for a local realtor association. I'm in the Raleigh area. So the Raleigh Area Association of Realtors, and I pay for national. So you're joining under tiers. There's the National Association of Realtors, then you've got a state level, and then you've got a local level. So I'm going to guess that it's either CAR or, California or Connecticut, or are there any other C states? California, Connecticut. I was going to say Costa Rica, but that is not a state. So that's not a state. All right, guys. Oh, hey, Seema. Yay, hon. Hi. You saw that? So, guys, I think we've done about 50 minutes. Do we like this? Do we want, if I'm going to do this once a week, I can pick something and be a little bit more organized, or everybody comes in with the expectation of, hey, if you get here early and put it in the chat, I'll just kind of go in the order. And of course, this is something I'm doing, so it could be anything. It could be some weeks are free questions, some weeks I pick a topic, some weeks I go over questions. I'm open, but when you all, Colorado, hey, I forgot about Colorado. Thanks, Deborah. But when, as I'm doing this, you just got to tell me what helps you the best. And if you see me in a webinar, if you see me in a class, if you've got a tutoring with me, or, you can always just email me, or you can put it in this, this live comments. Tell me how I can best help you. And that's what we'll do. So there are many things how do you know what is needed to start out? Remember you asked, how do you find a good broker? A good broker should tell you this as a new agent, because different realtor, there's the National Association of Realtor fees, but then it's going to be different for state and different for local. And some companies are going to buy your business cards. Some of them you're going to buy them. If you're on a team, they might buy them. So it's always up in the air, but that's a great question. Great question. So, guys, I'm going to go grab some more water because I get thirsty and my little red Solo cup is empty. I will see some of y'all tomorrow as I teach pre-licensing this weekend. If you're doing other things, I'm going to do my usual regular weekly webinars through Prep Agent, and that will be Wednesday, because remember, Tuesday you have, Monday. You'll have me on Monday because I'm filling in for Maria. So you have me Monday and Wednesday, so I'll see you then. And maybe next Friday. Let me know over the week. But guys, thank you so much for being patient with me as I try to figure this out. I love that you took your time to be here, and I hope this helped. And as always, bye. Ooh, this is that awkward moment where I just said bye, and I don't know how to end this. Okay. I'm a mess, y'all. I think I do this. I think I press this button. I think this is bye for real. Bye, everybody.